right, Kevin, thanks very much. Welcome to Allen Fieldhouse, home of the 14-time defending Big 12 champion, Kansas Jayhawks. Where better to raise the curtain on a new season of Big 12 basketball? Conference play opens tonight, and where would you rather be than Lawrence and the Fog? A ranked versus ranked matchup. Number 5, Kansas, and number 23, Oklahoma. Hi again, everyone. Bob Wischusen here with Fran Fraschilla. So excited to begin another season of Big 12 basketball. It's a Wednesday. Normally we're together on Big Monday, and we will be throughout the season, but it just feels big. Every time you're here, 14 consecutive seasons it has run through this place, and once again, you got to figure the Big 12 championship will run through Allen Fieldhouse.
It will most assuredly do that. And Bill Self, in his 16th season, only has 13 home losses. If you're going to win this league and knock Kansas off, it really helps if you can knock them off in this place. Something Oklahoma has not done since 1993. The Sooners, Bob, have a very experienced team. The most experienced in the power conferences. They've got good defense this year. They've got depth, 2 graduate transfer guards, and Christian James, one of the best players in this league. And
they've been a surprise so far of late, right? You can see that the coaching poll picked them to be an 8th place team in the Big 12, and yet here they are in the top 25. I think they're ready here for the season to begin.
Big Doke is back. Let's see if Kansas goes inside early. They like to do that.
They will go inside early, but it's Dedrick Lawson that can't hit the game's first shot.
Key for Oklahoma tonight, those graduate transfer guards, Calixte with the ball and Miles Reynolds. They both have been major contributors.
Calixte recovers at midcourt. It's Udoka Azubuike caught on a switch, 5 to shoot. Calixte gives it up. Reynolds floats one up and banks it in for the game's first bucket. Swooping layup rolls off for Devon Dotson.
Well, you saw the speed of Dotson. He's one of the fastest players you'll watch this year. Now for Oklahoma, what they like to do is spread the floor and utilize isolations for particularly this guy with the ball, James.
Gives it up to Reynolds.
That's a charge, should be called.
Grimes instead gets away with one. Lawson can't hit from the corner.
Good defense by Reynolds.
Christian James for 3. Manek with an offensive rebound and a reset for the Sooners.
Bob, we thought of Manek last year as a stretch 4 shooter. He's rebounding the ball very well this season.
Doolittle cruises to the goal as the seas part.
No Jimani McNeese. He's out with an ankle injury. He may play. Surprised they can't get it to Doak early.
Dotson out to Grimes. Azubuike fights for the loose ball, but beaten to it by Doolittle. Brady Manick. In, out, and right back in again for three. And Bill Self wants a timeout. He's going to the bench early, and he is not happy. A 7-0 lead for Oklahoma. We're back in 30 seconds.
Well, Bob, you remember how good Christian Doolittle was as a freshman. Last year, not so much. And take a look, little isolation play. Who's got to guard him? It's supposed to be Azubuike. The C parts, he gets to the rim. Really simple offensive game plan for Oklahoma. Find the mismatch, take advantage with the drive. Perfect example right there.
Is that a little of Lon Kruger's NBA background?
Very much so. And we saw how much freedom he gave Trae Young, Buddy Hield. Through the years, he does a good job of finding mismatches.
Well, Gerald Vick gets Kansas on the board. There was no shooter in America in the first month of the season that came out of the gates hotter than LeGerald Vick as Calixte lobs one, Manick off the touch. That's short, and here's Vick. Vick doesn't waste any time. In and out.
Talked to Bill Self in the offseason. He was concerned about shooting. If you take away Vick's numbers, this team shoots 30% behind the arc, Kansas.
Manick gets to the baseline. That's pinned by Lawson. Manick tries again, and Azubuike's got it. Vick for three. Brings one out again.
I think you got to make him a driver right there. Oklahoma fortunate. Vick's missed 2-point blank jump shots.
Manick, nice shot fake and lays it in.
Really good job by Calixte finding Manick on the backside because you have to defend the roll man.
You think it's just coincidence, or do you think Brady Manick went to the barber and said, "Give me the Larry Bird"?
Certainly paying off for him.
Oh man. Azubuike through a triple team, flushes it.
Well, you saw right there, even on that dunk, he doesn't have the explosiveness back yet after missing some games with that ankle injury, but they need him back in the lineup.
Calixte throws it away. 5-point early lead here at the Phog for OU as we open up the Big 12 regular season.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
Lon Kruger's 8th season at Oklahoma, off to an 11-1 start, but already dealing with some injuries that are impacting the depth of the front court for OU. Jamani McNeese missed a couple of games in December with an ankle injury. It's still holding him back. He's played recently, but limited minutes. And Fran, they thought if he was even able to get into the game tonight here at the Phog, it would again be maybe a handful of minutes.
Right, we watched him warm up today. He looked fine, but the strength of this team this year at Oklahoma is they go 10 deep, and right off the bat, first TV timeout, Lon Kruger has 3 guys off the bench. Bieniemy in the game, Freeman as well as Odoms. A lot of depth on this team.
And Odoms up top, staying with Devon Dotson.
It's an interesting matchup. He's such a good defender.
The left hand that rolls off from McCormick.
The only freshman on the Oklahoma roster that's a scholarship player, the guy with the ball. He's going to be a star someday. Jamal Bieniemy, but right now he's a good role player.
Tie up, and KU gets a takeaway. Garrett with the hit ahead to Vick. Cruises in, scores, plus the foul.
What a great story. A year ago, LeGerald Vick and Bill Self thought he was off to pro basketball. Didn't work out. He had no opportunities really to play in the league. He came back, and the interesting thing, Bob, look at the number he's wearing. He's wearing number 24. They gave away his number 2 to Charlie Moore, thinking that Vick would not be back. And, of course, LeGerald's been a big factor in this early part of the season for the Jayhawks. You mentioned the great shooting.
Hit the backboard first on the free throw attempt. Here's Garrett. As KU gets an extra possession off the carom. That foul was on Christian James. He'll attack here, and that's pinned up against the backboard. Dedrick Lawson with the block, but Joe DeRosa says, no, hit the backboard first, so it's a goaltend.
It's a great example of what James does so well. Open court, nobody in the post, he goes right to the basket on the drive. This is a young man that played in the Final Four, Christian James, and learned from guys like Buddy Hield and Trae Young and Isaiah Cousins. It's his turn.
Started off the season red hot, averaging just under 18 a game as Lawson swoops to the goal. That won't go, and there's James grabbing the rebound. He's also averaging over 7 rebounds per game.
How about the last 5? Almost 12.
Quick trigger here. Back tap, right back to James.
That's the toughness we've talked about with this Oklahoma team.
Odoms needs some help.
And they've got time on the shot clock.
The enemy is fouled on the ground, on the floor by Grimes. Where have been the biggest improvements in Christian James' game that have resulted in really a major statistical improvement from last year to this year?
Well, confidence, and it's not the last year. Look at his sophomore year. That was a disappointing season because he tried to be Buddy Hield. Unfortunately, he tried to be the senior Buddy Hield when he was only a sophomore, Christian James. This year, much more of a go-to guy.
Freeman can't hit. Devon Dotson attacks and scores.
Mentioned earlier, Bob, I haven't seen a player in college basketball this year faster end-to-end than that kid, Dotson.
James sets up Freeman for 3. Lawson still can't connect.
That's not his game, and right away we see the lack of outside shooting rearing its head for Bill Self's team.
Kansas 0 for 6 from 3. Dedrick Lawson has missed a couple of those threes. He's 0 for 4 to start the game, and this is, at least to this point, the Conference Player of the Year we're talking about. As Odoms gets tripped up, loses his footing, so it's numbers for Kansas. Odoms well behind the play. Lawson with the left hand. Azubuike. Yes.
That was caused because of the speed of Dotson again. He goes end to end and causes havoc in the lane.
Manick. Just a little short. Another rebound for Azubuike.
I think Oklahoma needs to drive the ball instead of shooting all those jumpers early.
Garrett turns the corner. Offensive rebound, Azubuike, and a reset. 3 seconds called on Azubuike.
Now we talked about Devon Dotson, the freshman from Charlotte. Watch this speed, Bob. This is coast to coast right here. And excellent in the open court. He's done that all season for Kansas, and he creates those easy baskets.
And Christian Doolittle.
Off to a great start, although he will sit down, and he's replaced by Charlie Moore, the transfer from Cal that sat out last season and is now the backup point guard this season for Kansas, out there wearing, as you can see, LaGerald Vick's old number 2.
Watch the ISO here.
Doolittle, too strong on the floater. Grimes with one dribble is able to lay it in. He covered a lot of ground with that one bounce. The enemy double team. Garrett on the deck. And it's a held ball. It will stay with Oklahoma when we come back.
Well, Devon Dotson's gotten off to a terrific start this year, but Quentin Grimes, they're waiting for a breakout. And there's an opportunity right there. Former McDonald's All-American to the rim. Can he get it going tonight?
That's hard to believe. Now, they are 11th in America, but as we so often see in this league, Fran, the predictions mean very little. Because look at Iowa State, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma picked to finish 6th, 7th, and 8th in the league. And you can make an argument that those are the 3 best teams right behind Kansas.
Yeah, those 3 teams right now combined 32-4. And what a job Chris Beard is doing out on the West Plains. Jared Culver, of course, last year, just a tremendous year. And take a look. And that rim protection is why Kansas is number 8 in the country this year. They guard the rim at a great rate because of that length inside. McCormick, Lawson, and Doak back healthy somewhat.
And that's the 4th Oklahoma turnover.
And I'm surprised Oklahoma has not attacked the basket off the drive tonight. Instead, settling for 8 threes already. Have only made 1.
We have a bit of a clock issue. Not that we don't all want to be able to get to the media buffet at halftime quicker, but 1.1 seconds, that's a quick jump. Now they've got it lined up correctly. Oklahoma scored the first 7 points of the game, and Kansas has now come back to take the lead.
There it is.
There's Udoka Azubuike in the post. Right at free.
Yep. That's great. Little misdirection. Looked like pick and roll. They were going to go to the right side of the court. Back to Lawson, where he drops dimes to Azubuike. Well done. Remember, this is the big lineup. We saw the small lineup for 3 years.
Elixty. Another miss from 3. Charlie Moore crosses over. Finds the corner in Grimes.
I think Oklahoma's gotten away from what got them that lead early, the driving, the transition.
This entire possession between Freeman and James outside the 3-point line, and another miss from 3 for OU. They're now 1 for 10.
A lot of white shirts in the paint.
Garrett! Speed for Kansas. A 16-2 run.
Kansas is collapsing the paint, so there's not many places to drive.
Doolittle can't break the string. Grimes for 3. Yes. Lon Kruger wants a timeout.
Take a look, Bob. This is what we call misdirection. The play looks like it's going to the right, but then it comes back. Post up inside, good finish. Good seal. And when he gets the ball 2 feet in the paint, he's impossible to stop. A career 70% field goal shooter, and of course, that's a high percentage shot as well. The transition game.
Next Monday on ESPN, it's the College Football Playoff National Championship game presented by AT&T at Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. The Tide and the Tigers, round number 4. Alabama and Clemson, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Also streaming live on the ESPN app, so you can watch anywhere. College football almost had an NBA-type feel to it this season. You play the regular season, it's a lot of fun, but 7 months later, we all end up exactly where we knew we were going to end up way back at the start of the season, because those 2 teams are so much better and so much more dominant than everybody else in college football. And there they are, waiting for each other. As James comes up short, Manick keeps it alive. He's double-teamed in the post. Garrett grabs him and commits the Kansas foul.
My favorite part of the postseason in football was Bevo last night. Absolutely intimidating Uga. That game was over once Bevo got loose.
Yeah.
You don't wear red in front of a steal. Anybody know? Tell the Georgia folks that. You don't wear red.
That's the Texas Fran Fraschilla. I want to see if the Brooklyn Fran Fraschilla knew that about 40 years ago.
Don't mess with Bevo.
Manick fighting hard with Dedrick Lawson in the post. Now he sets the screen. He's got Moore caught on a mismatch. Calixte instead tries a three and hits it. Only the second made triple for Oklahoma.
Watch Lawson here on the post up. Good defense. Couldn't get it to him.
Moore. That's off the mark. Offensive rebound, Lawson. Putback won't go.
This young man, Calixte, played in America East last year for Maine. Been a really solid point guard.
Nice crossover by Calixte and a little old school scoop.
He wrong-footed that in. That wrong foot layup is like a knuckleball to a shot blocker.
Moore sets up Grimes. That's short.
Got numbers.
Here's Reynolds. Has his pocket picked by Charlie Moore. Lawson with the spin move and an offensive foul. Size a big factor for Kansas again.
We'll show you when we come back. Bully ball is back in the field house. Well, after losing all that great outside shooting from last year's Final Four team, Kansas is back to playing what I call bully ball. Playing inside with Lawson, a great passer, and Azubuike, who averaged, how about this, Bobby, made 78% of his field goals a year ago. And this happens because Lawson, as Bill Self has described him, is the best passer, not the best passing big man, but the best passer he's had at Kansas. Azubuike missed some games with that ankle injury. He's back. That should be a very potent force to deal with in conference play.
Azubuike is already over 70% again this season, just doesn't qualify because he hasn't played enough yet because being out with the sprained ankle that cost him 4 games. As soon as he hits these statistical benchmark numbers, he'll probably be right at the top of America again in field goal percentage. As Manick goes to work in the post, fades away. Got it.
Pretty good. Brady Manick worked on that this summer. We mentioned earlier, last year a stretch 4 didn't really, he was sort of allergic to the paint area. This year, more inside, and he's a terrific rebounder.
And added 20 pounds in the offseason,
that helps.
Right? That's made a big difference.
Absolutely. Only a sophomore.
A little wild on the drive by Dotson, so a KU turnover.
We said this earlier, Bob, but it bears repeating. Oklahoma, the most experienced power conference team in the country, 6 seniors. So they weathered that 16-2 run at least to this point.
Doolittle shuffled his feet.
What Kansas is doing right now, Reynolds is not a great shooter, Calixte streaky. Their defenders are playing in the paint, and they're clogging up all those opportunities for James and Doolittle to isolate.
Vick for 3. Lightfoot kept it alive on the offensive glass. Grimes can lay it in as a result.
Remember his freshman year, Lightfoot played very little, but he's worked himself into a nice role as an energy big guy, just keeping plays alive. Perfect example right there.
Quentin Grimes, who only averages 8.1 points per game so far this season, already has 9 here in the first half. Justin James finds Manick, and that baby jumper is good.
James did a really good job of bringing Doak to the ball And dishing off, he created a 2-on-1 opportunity.
Annex up to 9. He's the high scorer for OU.
Watch him collapse.
Dotson make them pay. He cannot. Lightfoot, another offensive rebound. Azubuike bullies his way to the goal again. Can't hit it. Offensive rebound.
I would foul him.
He's got it.
I would give a foul there. He's 35% from the line. And if you're not in danger of fouling out, put him on the line. Don't give him that shot.
Calixte gets the step to the goal and draws a foul from Dotson on the floor.
Now you can see Doak sucking a little wind right here, but watch the effort. Stays with it, and he doesn't have the same explosiveness, Bob, that we've seen when he's really healthy. But the effort has been outstanding, and of course, breakout game Saturday against Eastern Michigan with the 23-9.
Is that a little bit of missing Jimani McNeese as well, who just got up to go to the scorer's table? So McNeese is going to try to come in and at least give Oklahoma a few minutes against Azubuike.
Yeah, absolutely. Money's a fifth-year guy, put on 30 pounds, 6'10", that's good D.
Calixte turns it over. Dotson. Score the basket, plus the foul.
Since the game against Michigan State, where Dotson was outstanding, he has shown no signs that he has any freshman jitters. He's been extremely cool, calm, and collected since the day he stepped on the court for Kansas. And what a great replacement for Devontae Graham, and of course Frank Mason as well the year before.
That's pretty good lineage.
Pretty good lineage.
And those are big shoes to fill. But you're right, for a freshman, he looks very much at home.
Well, his on-ball defense is scintillating.
Is Dotson or Grimes a one and done, in your opinion?
No. Grimes was supposed to be, but he is not playing like it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Manic, too strong from the corner. There's Dotson with the rebound.
I think when you come in as a one and done, you know, on the mock drafts, you got to run your own race. You can't try to please everybody. He's got a lot of work to do.
Lawson.
That could have been a foul.
He was looking for a call.
Yep.
Calixte.
Verticality.
Comes the other way. There's Jimani McNeese. Moving pretty good, it looks like, on that ankle. He's going to try a jump hook, and that didn't look so good.
No.
Vick has it stolen by Christian James. He'll glide in for an easy two.
Well, you'd expect this pace from two of the best defensive teams in the country, 7 and 8.
Vick, a step back. Yes.
One thing he does so well, Bob, and as a coach, it drives you crazy. He is a tough shot maker. Defender was all over him that time.
Drives you crazy because is he the no, yes guy?
Absolutely. And ask Jay Wright, because that's how he beat Kansas.
Here comes Vick off the steal. Finds a wide open Grimes. Double-digit lead for KU.
Got to get it over to 10. You see how good Dotson is on the ball? It's like pressuring the quarterback. You don't get an easy look, except they got one there.
Manic couldn't convert. A foul will be called, though, on Azubuike, so it will stay with Oklahoma when we come back. Under 2.5 to go in the first.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by the makers of Aleve Back and Muscle Pain. All day strong, all day long.
Have the most talent in this league outside of Kansas, and guess what, Bob? I'll be in Ames on Saturday when the Jayhawks invade Hilton Coliseum. I love that Iowa State team. They were terrific in Maui without 3 starters, and they're all back.
James for 3. He's strong. Sloppy pass from Vic behind Garrett.
That's Vic's second sloppy turnover.
So if you were to look wide-angle lens just as we now start Big 12 play, Iowa State, obviously a sleeper, not going to be a sleeper for long. They'll probably be ranked. The team that seemed like everyone at the start of the season had right behind KU was K-State. Is Kansas State a team that we should have our eyes on that could maybe make a run?
Well, keep this in mind. The preseason player of the year, Dean Wade, is out until at least early February.
Bank shot.
He didn't call
enemy missed that one.
Yep.
But he'll take it.
And I'll tell you, the West Virginia backcourt has been horrendous. And don't know if Pinate played tonight, but that team is coming off a home loss to Tech. Really, really struggling.
Foul on Odoms. That's his first.
And by the way, we can go on and on. TCU's pretty good too. They have one loss early in the year. Tremendous backcourt. We're going to have fun this year, Bob.
Is this going to be another season where anyone can beat anyone in this league, or do you think there will be kind of a clear cream rising to the top
Kansas,
along with Kansas?
Well,
it's always Kansas.
Yeah. No, I think 2 through 6 is going to be wide open.
Another tough shot made by Vic.
And see, in the scouting report, it's hard to account for that. You should get a hand up, and he's still going to shoot it. And this year, particularly, he's making those shots.
Final minute of the first half. Vic saves it. Dedrick Lawson still looking for his first points. Finds them on the offensive glass.
Last year was a particularly bad defensive year for Kansas. They shot the 3-ball at a tremendous rate, but so far we're seeing in the first half an outstanding defensive performance.
Doolittle from the elbow. McCormick crashing into bodies. And it looks like that's going to cost him a foul. Well, Saturday, Zion and #1 ranked Duke will take on Clemson at Cameron Indoor, the start of conference play for both of those teams in the ACC. The Tigers' last win in Durham was 24 years ago, almost to the day, January 4th, 1995. 8 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
It took one game in the Champions Classic for all those mock draft experts to put Zion Williamson #1. Everybody had R.J. Barrett up there, but after that first game, Bob, the combination of athleticism, cartoonish size, skills. He's the freakiest athlete in college that I can remember since Shaquille O'Neal. Now, they don't play the same position, but the take your breath away athleticism is just mind-blowing.
How much better does he have to become from, say, 17 feet and out for that athleticism in the NBA to pay off to its maximum?
He will have an easier time in the NBA than he has in college because the floor is spaced with good players around him. His skill level is already better than we thought. His shooting has to get better. But to me, he is going to make a seamless transition. And I've already said this, he will make $1 billion playing basketball, not only on the court, but more off the court, because the Q rating is absolutely off the chart.
You should be his agent. Take 0.5%. You'd be fine. 6 to go in the half. The scoop and the score by Dedrick Lawson. First foul on Freeman.
Well, he's gone for 20 in 7 of the last 9, and you see the isolation at the top, averaging 20 and 10. Slow start tonight. He reminds me of Marcus Morris, who played here, who could play inside, out, handle it, pass it. He does a lot of things well.
Got to hurt Oklahoma to hold Lawson to 5 points in the first half and still be down 15. They've got time to get one off before halftime. Here's Bieniemy from midcourt. Good if it goes. And it's a 15-point lead at the break for Kansas. It's time to head to the studio. Kevin Connors, Dallin Cuff, Sean Farnham. They've got the E-Trade halftime report. Kevin? Set for the start of the second half. A 15-point lead for Kansas over Oklahoma in the Big 12 opener for both teams. Bob Wischusen, Fran Fraschilla, and we have watched the latest freshman class for Bill Self do work here tonight in the opener.
Exactly. We highlighted the experience of Oklahoma, especially in the backcourt. But the freshman backcourt for Bill Self tonight, absolutely outstanding. The great speed of Devon Dotson, and then Quentin Grimes, who's got 11 points and doing it the old-fashioned way. A lot of grit and toughness from Grimes. He needs that, Bob. He needs to get his confidence going.
Does it seem like this is an even more complete team than Bill Self has had in terms of the size matching up with his ability to match on the perimeter?
Certainly in the last few years when they didn't have this kind of size, that this really helps them. But I think Grimes is the key guy for this team. You know what you're going to get out of the bigs, and so far Dotson, Grimes was expected more of. Tonight we're seeing some of the reason he was a McDonald's All-American.
Christian James gathered all the Sooners around him. A little players-only huddle on the floor before the start of the second half. And LaGerald Vick obliges by throwing one away. So this a little talking to by the senior, the star. 18 points a game, 4th best in the league. This season, Christian James, I think, realizes that he can't just be a guy that leads by action. Yeah, he has to lead verbally as well. And Manick gets Oklahoma off to a good start here in the second half.
Well, remember, this team has 8 wins away from Norman, and they trailed at Northwestern by 11, so they can come back. The key is to play TV timeout to TV timeout, not try to get this whole lead reduced quickly.
Azubuike with 7 to shoot. Hands one off to Lawson. Lawson back to the corner. Grimes. Good defensive stand that time by Oklahoma.
I think for Oklahoma, they have to get the ball side to side before they drive like this here, because they're not moving the Kansas help defense, Bob. And a perfect example, they're driving into too much traffic. I look for Kansas to establish Azubuike early because he's got astronomical numbers at the rim.
Dotson from the corner. And a good box out by Doolittle on Azubuike to allow Manick an easy rebound. Reynolds turns the corner and scores.
I thought he got fouled as well. He is a hard driving guy, Reynolds. Half of his points this year have come from the foul line, the double transfer from first St. Louis and then Pacific.
And he's hit with a blocking foul here. It's well-traveled Miles Reynolds, right? Begins at St. Louis, ends up at Pacific, but he grew up in Chicago, only 3 blocks away from the Obamas.
Chance the Rapper. It's like Bob the announcer.
Right.
Why do you need to say Chance the Rapper if you're a rapper? Why not just Chance?
Your cultural
I'm Fran the analyst.
It's incredible.
They don't say Fran the analyst.
No, they do not. McCormick shuffled his feet and turns it over.
Let's get back to Reynolds because Whitney Young High School is a great high school. His high school team won the state championship. His teammates, Paul White, who plays at Oregon, and Jahlil Okafor, who actually is playing pretty well for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Not a bad high school roster.
Nope. Great kid, too.
James.
He's got to make that pass.
Taken away by McCormick.
Yeah, good defense by McCormick.
Wide open Grimes.
That's what he has to make, Bob. He started this season, you ready for this? 6 for 10 from 3 against Michigan State. Since then, his numbers have been in the 20s.
And Kansas is now 2 for 15 shooting the 3 in this game as a team, and yet they've got an 11-point lead. Felixte is fouled on a reach-in by Dotson. That's his second.
Lon Kruger's offense is based on good isolation opportunities, but in order to create that space, you have to get the ball side to side so you can move those white jerseys around before you attack the paint.
James in the mid-range, way short, an air ball. Manick saves it, throws it to midcourt. Reynolds keeps it alive. James has it back, 4 to shoot. Puts another one up. That's an air ball. And ultimately a shot clock violation. So Christian James is now 2 for 9 from the field. And again, he came into this game averaging 17.9 points per game, 4th best in the league.
He's seeing a lot of attention tonight. We talked about that help defense. One of the reasons there are not a lot of driving opportunities.
Vic left alone. Can't hit it, and a good box out by Manick.
Absolutely, Bob.
Reynolds will attack, plus the foul.
That's what he does. This kid averages 6 free throws a game. When they went over the scouting report today, they said straight line driver. This is as straight as you can get. Take a look now. He's going to be on the attack. He's got the guard in front, right to the rim. Opportunity to get 3. Well done.
His dad is a CEO of an investment bank in Chicago. Both of his parents went to Northwestern and got their MBAs. So when Oklahoma played at Northwestern, an overtime win for the Sooners on December 21st, he said he had about 40 to 45 friends and family in the crowd there cheering him on.
He's been the vocal leader for this team from the day he transferred.
Dotson with the left hand. Offensive foul. Manick had position. Bill Self can't believe it.
Bill Self.
Jamie Luckey calls the charge.
Yep, Bill is arguing that the defender was inside the circle. Let's take a look right now. Oh, that's a hard one to tell. I think, from what I couldn't see the angle here, but does he have his heels on that line? Oh, that's close.
Looked like his heels were on the line. Foul number 3 on Dotson. Manick from the baseline. Azubuike saves it. Moore, no good. Azubuike lost it to Doolittle. Down on the deck though, he creates a held ball. It will go to Oklahoma though. Sooners trying to come from behind. They were down 15 at the break, down only 8 now.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by QuickBooks. You earned it. We're here to make sure you get it. QuickBooks, backing you.
Lon Kruger, for the first time at Oklahoma, has a couple of grad transfers in Aaron Calixte and Miles Reynolds. But the Kruger family knows a little something about being a grad transfer.
Well, that gentleman on the left, Kevin Kruger, is the godfather of grad transfers. Back in 2006, after a 3-year starting career at Arizona State, they made a coaching change. He graduated, and there was a loophole in the rules back then that allowed a graduate to transfer to another school without sitting out. And he took advantage of that. Kevin played for his dad at UNLV. Led the team to 30 wins and a Sweet 16.
There's a set play that worked perfectly as Doolittle gets to hang from the rim.
From the graduate transfer, Miles Reynolds.
A 9-0 run for Oklahoma to start off the second half. Making a game of it.
Good crowd around Azubuike.
Dotson again off the mark from 3.
What do we talk about the outside shooting? That is an Achilles heel for Kansas. No more speed, no more Devontae Graham, no Malik Newman. So Reynolds now. Now Reynolds needs to take Azubuike away from the basket, another dribble. Let the court space and then drive Azubuike.
Doolittle shaken up. He gets up with a bit of a limp. And he's trying to jog it off and stay in the game.
Oklahoma doing to Kansas what Kansas did in the first half of Oklahoma. They're playing off the non-shooters and crowding the paint.
Lawson, good hands on the reach in, then knock it away by Reynolds. Gathering is Garrett. He couldn't hit, but he draws a foul. Saturday at noon Eastern on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. It's the FCS championship game. Number 3 Eastern Washington and number 1 North Dakota State. The Bison are the defending champions, and they've won the title 6 of the last 7 years, and they are in the title game yet again. How does it change how Bill Self has to coach, knowing that LeGerald Vick is probably the only real knockdown shooter that he has? And how would you try and weave together an offense when he has been able to count on just dead-eye three-point shooting so often the last several years?
But what they have to do with this offense, Bob, is they still have to, even though teams are going to play off the non-shooters, they still got to get the ball going side to side to move the help away from the postman, and then go inside. Oklahoma's done a good job of playing 5-on-3 and 5-on-4 with those non-shooters.
Freeman for 3. That's off to the left. Manick an offensive rebound. James gets a look, but he traveled.
Brady Manick's doing a great job on the offensive glass.
That double-double for Manick is his 4th already this season. He had none as a freshman, already has 4, and we're not even midway through this regular season. Shot fake by Moore. Rims out an elbow jumper.
Great challenge by Miles.
And now Moore commits a foul at midcourt.
That's what we call a rear view challenge. Moore shot faked by Reynolds, and Reynolds was still able to get a hand up and get a piece of that vision. Right now, if you're Oklahoma, you do not have to guard Grimes and Garrett. You can see Vick's back in to provide some outside shooting.
Kansas without a field goal so far here in the second half, and they still have a 7-point lead.
Yeah, you've done a lot of football this year, right? It's like playing 8 in the box against a team that doesn't have a passing attack. What's that?
Excellent analogy.
There you go.
I understood that. James. Yes, tough finish
Great
for
drive.
Christian James.
I thought there was a contact on that drive, too. Remember, Kansas has been in 6 games that were decided by 6 or less.
Dedrick Lawson goes right at Manick. James left alone. In and out for 3.
He's having a tough night, isn't he?
He's now 0 for 4 from three-point land and 3 of 11 from the field. Grimes draws a foul.
Right there was the Greater Houston Player of the Year backing down one of the guys that was on the first team in that area, Jamal Bieniemy. So these guys have played against each other, and Quentin Grimes said, I know this guy. I'm going right to the block.
That's the first on Bieniemy. Now, Jamal Bieniemy is the nephew of, you would think, a future NFL head coach, because Uncle Eric, the Chiefs offensive coordinator from 45 minutes down the road in Kansas City, today already interviewed with the Jets and Bucks. Tomorrow has a date with the Dolphins. Friday with the Bengals. And he is the next off of the Andy Reid coaching tree, you would think, to take the tutelage of Andy Reid to turn it into a head coaching job.
You and I have a vested interest, right?
Very much so.
I'm a Jets fan, and you're the Jets play-by-play guy. Does Pat Mahomes come with him?
LeGerald Vick. And finish. Pat Mahomes is going to turn a lot of offensive coordinators into head coaches, as LeGerald Vick hits a 3.
A lot of switching by Kansas.
Doolittle sets up the enemy. There's a 3 for Oklahoma.
Remember that name, Bob. I know you know the name because of his uncle. This young man's going to be a very good player at Oklahoma. Can't do that.
Garrett's floater, no good, but he was fouled by Miles Reynolds. The Big 12 opener between Kansas and Oklahoma.
This is the moment you truly all been waiting for.
At halftime, when Kansas ran away at the end of the first half to a 15-point lead without Dedrick Lawson giving them much of anything in the first half, but Oklahoma has answered to start off the second half. And they have taken what was once a 15-point lead, sliced it down to single digits. Bob Wischusen and Fran Fraschilla, the Big 12 opener for both Oklahoma and Kansas. 2 at the line for Garrett makes it a double-digit lead once again. James for 3. Can he finally hit one? Yes, he does.
Breakdown. Supposed to switch that. Vic went with the roll man to the basket, as did Lawson. Bill Self not happy. Someone's coming out.
Double digits for Christian James for the 12th time in 13 games. Lawson has it taken away by James. The enemy left alone. He knocks one down, and all of a sudden we've got a 5-point game, and we've got a Kansas timeout, and we've got an unhappy Bill Self.
Got it, okay.
Back at the Fog, Fran takes us inside the play.
Oh yeah, when you switch, you gotta have great communication. Take a look right here. Watch the 2 defenders in white. They both roll to the basket, and they leave Christian James wide open. Bill Self immediately got Dotson back into the game. And all of a sudden, Bob, we've got a pretty good ball game.
And Christian James hit a couple shots here in the second half. He's 2 rebounds away from a double-double. And what was once a 15-point Kansas halftime lead is down to 5. They go right inside to the player of the year, you'd have to think so far, in the Big 12, Dedrick Lawson.
Well, that time they went small, and Lawson, instead of playing on the perimeter with Azubuike out, they went right out to him. And who's better out of a timeout than Bill Self?
James goes at Vic, muscles one up. Vic ends up with the loose ball. Manick takes it away. Manick passes it right through the legs of James. Odom's in the corner for 3. In and out.
That's only the 5th 3 Odoms has taken all year, but he made 3 of his first 4. He was wide open there. They should go inside again. He's a good passer.
He faces up on Manick and connects from 15 feet.
Now, Bob, they've gone small. You notice the spacing all of a sudden more spread out. But you still have to play off the non-shooters.
Manick with a shot fake. Another shot fake and draws a foul.
Remember, Lawson has done a lot of damage this year in the paint, especially without Azubuike. Look at the space he has that time. And there you go, Dedrick Lawson, the transfer from Memphis. He had a terrific sophomore season, and he actually played well at the NBA Combine. They made a coaching change. He transferred to Kansas as well as his brother KJ. And there's more Lawsons coming. Of course, Chandler in the class of 2019. He'll play for Dana Altman next year at Oregon.
Cheap foul as Odoms reached in on Dotson at midcourt. That's the second on Odoms.
back inside again.
Lawson with double team. Nice ball movement. Corner three from Dotson.
How about that? It started with Lawson. Terrific pass, good kick out.
You blink and Kansas puts the lead right back up to double figures.
How about the strategy change? They went small, they're 3 for 3.
James for three. Air ball.
That's his third air ball of the second half.
Lawson. Yes.
Well, not to belabor it, Bob, but they tried to play small big tonight with Azubuike and Lawson. It has not worked. They've got 9 points on the last 4 possessions, playing small and using Lawson in the low post. This is why Bill Self is the coach he is. Recognizes that he's got Lawson in isolation around the rim, on the perimeter. And you see, that's why I compare him to Marcus Morris, who's been an effective NBA player. This kid can play both inside and out.
Well, Saturday, Zion at number 1. Duke will take on Clemson at Cameron. It's the start of conference play in the ACC for both of those teams as well. Long layoff for Duke. The Tigers' last win in Durham was 24 years ago. 8 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app. I believe all the way back to December 20th when Duke played Texas Tech at the Garden. That's the last time Duke played a game. I think Mike Krzyzewski said it's about the longest layoff he can ever remember his team having over a Christmas break.
I like it. I like it because will they be rusty first game back? Maybe. But remember, this is a team that went to Canada in August. They're together 9 months out of the year, and I think that Christmas break is healthy. I don't think it's going to hurt Duke at all in the long game.
10 to shoot. Calixte tries to turn the corner, spins into traffic. Doolittle there to bail him out.
That's exactly what it was, because Aaron was a little bit out of control right there. Blind squirrel finds the acorn every now and then, Bob. Did I just say that?
Dotson fouled by Doolittle. I followed. We said that Brady Manick bears a striking resemblance to an NBA legend. Take a look. Can you figure out who?
Larry Bird.
Burger, fries.
I'll play you for it.
You and me for my burger and fries.
First one to miss watches the winner eat.
Now remember, no dunking.
Off one knee.
Which knee? Off the scoreboard, off the Big 12 sign, number net.
Off the jump man, off the glass, call bank.
Over the head, off the press box, onto Lindsay, into the back of that truck, down to the arena, into the LNC, nothing but net.
If you're over the age of 35, you probably have no idea what you just watched. Or under the age of 35, I would say. But if you're over 35, with Christian James playing the part of Magic Johnson, and of course, Brady Manick playing the part of Larry Bird, that was a great commercial back in the day.
Yes, it was. And this guy, he's not even the best shooter in his family. His father, Carey, was a career 46% three-point shooter at Oklahoma Christian.
Reynolds lost it. Garrett the other way. Vic creates space. Christian James and Grimes battle for the loose ball. Grimes stepped on the end line.
Good scrap right there. We talked about it. Both of these teams really good defensively. This lineup allows Kansas to switch everything, and that keeps the ball in front of you. Calixte.
Yes, for three.
That time Dotson went behind the screen. Kalixny knocked it down. Coming back inside.
Shot clock winding down for KU. It goes under 10 as Garrett picks up the dribble. Dotson swoops in with the left hand. Can't hit it. Christian James is able to wall off Grimes. And here comes Kalixny. Kalixny trips. Gets tied up. Held ball. It'll go to KU.
I thought Kalixny could shoot that three because he had just made one right before that with the defender going under. Take a look right there. Instead, he trips on his teammate's foot, and the possession arrow belongs to the white jerseys.
Almost impossible to overstate how hard it is to start off your season at Allen Fieldhouse. Kansas has not lost a conference opener since the 91-92 season. 17 of those wins on the road, so they're automatic at home. But they've played more of those conference openers during that stretch on the road than home.
And remember, Oklahoma hasn't won here since '93 as well.
Freeman off the mark.
He's been their most reliable shooter this year, but he's not been able to knock it down, and Oklahoma has not shot the three ball well tonight.
Dedrick Lawson pulls up, and Doolittle comes back the other way.
They had Kalixny out in front.
James for three. Too strong. Dotson goes behind the back, off the rebound, keeps the dribble alive, and they love it here at the 5. Grimes, yes, lost the foul.
Now watch these two freshmen, Bob. First the magic read. Is that a word?
No.
No, okay, that's okay. Watch Grimes now. I like this because Grimes has struggled with the outside shooting, and tonight we've seen a lot of grit and toughness from the young man from the Woodlands on the outskirts of Houston. It's a young man that was the MVP of the Under-18 FIBA Americas Championship. Played for the USA. He was coached by Bill Self.
Averaged about 15 points and 4 assists per game in helping the U.S. to win the gold medal.
Blew out Canada at 50.
Reynolds. Now James. Shovels one to Doolittle. Shot fake. Azubuike got a piece.
Azubuike totally spooked Doolittle right there.
Lawson straightaway three. Not his shot. Kalixny lost the dribble, found it again. And here's Doolittle. He's going to go with Azubuike, throw one up, and have a chance for a three-point play.
Well, that's what Ron Kruger wants from Christian Doolittle. We talked to him today, and he said at times he's reluctant to take over games. He had the last 6 points in that win at Northwestern, Bob, and that coaching staff wants to see more of that. But you see the isolation game that Doolittle and James can provide you. You play for Ron Kruger, you do not have to look over at the bench when you take a shot. We saw that with Trey Young, we saw it with Buddy Hield and company. He's a great coach to play for in the offensive end.
Azubuike is held, and that might be a strategy. As Doolittle commits the foul, that will be Oklahoma over the limit, so Azubuike will shoot a 1-and-1.
It might not be. It is a strategy because, as you know, last year in Norman, they hack-a-shacked them, and they got back into the game 36% this season.
So Hackadoke gets an offensive rebound opportunity for Dedrick Lawson, and he goes over the back. And now Kansas will be over the limit. That's the second on Lawson.
Bill Self said last year after the loss in Norman that he wouldn't put Doak in that position again. If he needed to, he will take him out. Be interesting to see. You got McNeese on the bench with fouls, Freeman with fouls to give. Be anxious to see if Vancouver will continue the hack-a-doke strategy.
Azubuike now 11 of 32 from the line so far this season. Oklahoma not going away. Down by 8 with 4.5 to go.
We watched yesterday's practice. Doak made 82 out of 110 before he left the gym.
Only 1 of 2 at the line for
There
Doolittle.
it is. They tried to foul him again.
Maddox looking right at him. Garrett with 10 to shoot. Spins, lost it. Crowd looking for a foul. So was Bill Self.
Yeah, if you're Oklahoma, Bob, you've got to speed the game up now. They got to get out in transition.
Now that it's in the half court, though, where do you go?
Right here, you got a mismatch. They're trying to isolate the floor.
Calixte around Lawson. Doolittle can't recover. 12 to shoot for Oklahoma. And we come back under 4 to play.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Phillips 66, proud sponsor of Big 12 basketball.
It's been fun over the years to watch Oklahoma and Kansas go head-to-head. There have been some stars that have made a name for themselves in this rivalry.
Absolutely, and 3 of those guys came in unheralded. Of course, Trae Young was a McDonald's All-American, but how about Buddy Love averaging just at 20 points a game? And Devontae Graham making his first NBA start tonight for the Charlotte Hornets. Frank Mason also in that backcourt with Buddy Hield, the surprising sack king.
.347 to go.
Keep your eye on Manic.
Reynolds, 7 to shoot. Reynolds with the left hand, it's blocked by Lawson. 2 to shoot. Reynolds gives it up. James can't beat the timer. What a block by Lawson.
Diedrich smelled it out. They know Reynolds loves to drive, and he did a terrific job of staying vertical and away from Reynolds' body. Small lineup. Doak's out.
Gerald Vick, tough shot, can't hit it. So the hack-a-doke strategy can't be employed now by Oklahoma as Azubuike is on the bench. The lob, Manic finishes, plus the foul. How about that?
And we saw them work on that play today at the shoot-around. Little screener. It looks like a pick and roll. And again, you got to account for Manic, who can shoot the 3. There's the switch, and who's on him but the point guard. And that's a mismatch. There it is. No help on the backside screen. Lob.
And that's the 4th foul on Devon Dotson. Although Manic can't convert the 3-point play, so it's still a 6-point lead for KU. Under 3 to go.
Got to play through Lawson inside if you can.
Grimes has it poked away. Gets on the deck to get it back. Dotson leans in. Yes, plus the foul.
That play was decided on the floor. Quentin Grimes went to the floor. Nobody on Oklahoma went to the floor. Take a look. Quentin Grimes made that play because of his hustle. And when you show the film tomorrow in that Oklahoma film room, you got to tell your guys, if we're going to win in this arena, we got to sell out completely. And what you saw Grimes did was a play that'll be pointed out by the Kansas coaching staff tomorrow. That's a 5-point swing, Bob. They had possession of that ball on a steal.
and a 9-point lead as a result. Manek through a double team. Foul. So Manek will go back to the free throw line as Grimes is called for a foul. And Sports Center after Wednesday Night Hoops. And after the buzzer with Stan and Neil, they'll take you inside Luka Doncic's amazing rookie season. Plus the Chargers and Ravens rematch. I'll have keys to that one. A look at the college football playoff championship matchup between Alabama and Clemson. Sports Center, 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app. You're right there in Dallas watching Luka Doncic do work every night.
I got to see him last week against the Pelicans. And here's what I say. Like Larry Bird, he's a step slow, he's 2 steps ahead. He sees the game at an incredible level. He's already the Rookie of the Year, although DeAndre Ayton has been pretty good. First time tonight for Oklahoma to go zone. They don't play zone very often.
It stops with 2 minutes to go. Dotson swings it to Moore. Moore off balance, draws a foul.
Oklahoma has been really good most of the night defensively, but the last couple possessions, they should have had a loose ball and then a silly foul on a drive where Moore's got a tough time making that shot.
That's the 4th on Miles Reynolds.
You mentioned Charlie Moore earlier, Bob. I think he's going to have an impact on this team as the season goes on because he reminds me of a 3rd down back. He's a guy that can really he can break a game open with his shooting and his strength.
He's Darren Sproles.
That's exactly right. Very
see
good.
The kind of chemistry we're right back into midseason form or whatever.
Didn't miss a beat.
Doolittle off the window.
Now this is a huge stop right here. Again, Kansas has gone small. They got the ball handling.
Dotson, he caught Lawson off balance. Lawson nearly traveled, and now traveling is called on Quentin Grimes. 90 seconds to go in the game. Oklahoma down by 7.
With the small Kansas lineup now, if you're Oklahoma, you really have to spread the floor because Kansas will switch. You're looking for any mismatch you can.
James tied up, forces one up, and a foul call. That foul will go on Garrett. That's Marcus Garrett's 2nd.
Here's a perfect example. Lawson, not a good defender. You see how he plays on his heels. And that allows James to get into the lane, and then Lawson mauls him.
And Dedrick Lawson took a shot on the James pump fake and then shot attempt. They got Garrett for the foul. But the lion's share of the contact was James on Dedrick Lawson.
I really think, Bob, Oklahoma's played poorly tonight. You know, they've played with no McNeese. They've missed opportunities like that, and they're still in this ball game.
James is 4 of 15 from the field, and yet they're only down by 6.
Exactly. They're going to lament a loss here. I'd go back and play solid right now.
Dotson lost it on the way up. Reynolds will look to attack. Off to Doolittle. Garrett saves it. Nope, stepped on the end line. Do you have to think threes yet if you're Oklahoma?
Not necessarily. If they're there, you take them. But I think you still have to attack the basket. And when you attack the basket, the defense collapses, then you kick it out. But they have to have a hurry-up offense right now.
Play like the football team.
Exactly.
Doolittle.
See, that's verticality. He's coming down on that shot.
Now do you have to foul?
Yes, you do have to foul.
And there is the foul. That'll foul Reynolds out.
See, I think Lawson breaks the verticality plane here. Let's take a look. I don't know if he gets ball there, but I know he breaks the plane.
Is that on Doolittle to go up into him a bit to earn the foul?
Absolutely, Bob. Doolittle should use that body with more assertiveness and attack the guy that's the shot blocker.
So now Miles Reynolds, the second leading scorer so far this season for OU, is fouled out. Christian James only has 11 points. He's 4 of 15 shooting, and they need to find some instant offense in the last 38 seconds to have a chance.
And again, what did we say at the 4-minute mark? Doak would not be playing. They would go small. And that lineup has been very effective. And in fact, it's gotten Lawson going offensively down the stretch of this game. Now, if you have a quick hitter three-point shot in your, that arrow in your quiver, now is the time to use it.
Couple of misses at the line. Keeps this game alive as Moore can't connect. Calixte will drive it and score. 30.9 seconds to go, and we've got a 4-point game.
And I don't mind that. Get the 2, set up your press. Look to figure out who you can foul right now.
And with this small lineup on the floor, how hard is it to execute against the speed and the guards trapping and even fouling?
Well, it's harder, obviously, but they have a quick team too. They're good defensively. So what you do right off the bat is you set up your pressure, you give it maybe a trap or 2, and then you foul right away, and then you just have to play the percentages. You have to hope they miss a free throw, you hit a 3. They make 1, you make a 2, and go back and forth and just try to elongate this game.
Well, traditionally, and the last several years certainly an example, Kansas has had some good individual free throw shooters, but as a team, their Achilles heel at times has been not being the best free throw shooting group, and Moore just missed a couple, so you have to hope for that.
Exactly, and you got to hope that you catch a break.
ESPN Plus is the home to thousands of live events, which includes 2,500 plus college basketball games, international soccer, UFC, exclusive originals. Sign up now. Download the ESPN app or visit ESPNplus.com.
And with this lineup, Bob, I probably want to put one of the 2 freshmen on the line. Now, Dotson 79%, Grimes 67%. Guess where Grimes is? The furthest away from the basketball. So the best free throw shooters are in this little formation right here, this little triangle action.
They get it into Dotson. He is 4 for 4 at the line in the game. And came into tonight shooting 79%. So perfectly executed by KU. They've got the guy they want at the line.
And if you're Oklahoma, you hope for maybe, let's say he goes 1 for 2. You come back and you score and you cut into this lead. You just play the percentages. You give your team the best chance to get back in this game. There it is.
Guaranteed at least 1 of 2.
Exactly. So now if you're Oklahoma, you can take the quick 2 drive or the drive and the kick out or the set play for the 3.
3 straight free throw misses for Kansas. Dotson rolls that one home. Here comes Calixte. Calixte spins. Can't lay it in. Doolittle on the offensive glass. Looking back up top. Instead he forces one up. Rolls off the rim. Dotson's got it. And he draws the foul. Under 16 seconds to go. And now the crowd here at Allen Fieldhouse starts to celebrate.
If I'm Aaron Calixte, when I got deep in the lane, when I watch that film tomorrow, I'm going to look at that play and say, if that happens again this season, can I kick it back out to the 3-point line? Because did you see all those jerseys collapse on the ball.
And I thought I saw Brady Manick waving his arms. He knew he had a kick-out 3 opportunity if Calixte or Doolittle could have found him. So Kansas will almost assuredly win their 28th consecutive conference opening game. But Oklahoma, their first game this season as a ranked team, they've served notice this year that they're going to be more of a factor in the Big 12 than maybe anyone realized when you were looking at this conference in the preseason.
That's right. Picked 8th coming in. It's been a terrific non-conference. There's a chemistry here. There's a toughness. There's a grittiness. Now, we're going to say they shot poorly tonight, but let's give Kansas credit on the defensive end. But if I'm Oklahoma, I'm not going to feel good about a loss here. I'm going to say we could have played a little better. But hey, when you come into this place, Bill Self's got 13 losses in 16 seasons.
It's tough, too, for Oklahoma. They've basically lived on the road to start this season off, right? They've got 9 games they've already played away from Norman, and they're 8-1 in those 9 games.
Exactly. I like this team. They've shown a lot of toughness. And again, no McNeese tonight. Injuries are part of it. We know that. James can play better, but we're going to give Kansas credit because they are better defensively than the team that went to the Final Four a year ago. And they're going to have to be because they don't shoot it like that team anymore.
Calixte for 3. That's off the mark. One down by Dotson, and that will do it. As Charlie Moore will dribble out the last few seconds. And Kansas, for the 28th consecutive season, wins their conference opener.
Well, we talked about it. Kansas has been in 6 games decided by 6 or less this season. Not today, but good effort by Oklahoma. The road to the title still goes through Lawrence.
A win for KU over OU for Fran Fraschilla and our entire crew. I'm Bob Wischusen. So long from Allen Fieldhouse here in Lawrence, Kansas, a 7-point winner. Time to send it to SportsCenter.